I think I heard like, okay, in Detroit, I know somebody with the hookup, or
Okay.
I know a guy. Yeah.
It's funny because online there's this whole debate about where that term came from. There's people in New York saying we came up with the term. There's people obviously in the Bay Area saying we came up with the term. And there's people in Chicago saying, no, boosters, we did that and such and such. So there's this whole debate. And, obviously I come from the Bay Area, so I'm going to shoot shots on that behalf. However, I think it was all over. And definitely people had different ways of calling it. But, I have no idea where it came from. There's somebody that could probably call in and tell us the etymology of that. But
exactly.
Yeah.
And
everybody's listening to NPR.
But I want to talk a little bit about what you were saying about the Boosters' place and how they.
Anybody know where I can't wait. Keke Palmer was in the best movies of 2025.
She's a booster. She is
Good Fortune and One of Them Days.
Christy Smith.
She's like the best actor we have right now, so I can't wait for this. Demi Moore's in it too. She was in one of the best movies last year. The Solution, or was it The Substance?
Black and brown communities.
Yeah.
Oh
When
man,
was the first time you kind of realized
it's gonna be awesome.
that idea that like what is being stolen is actually maybe yours in the first place?
And he was in the coup.
I think you'd have to
wrote the
back
song
it up
that
to when I was
inspired the movie.
14 or 15, and I
we
got
go.
involved in supporting people who were organizing a cannery workers strike in Watsonville, California. So I got invited
I got involved
to
with protesters
youth
as well.
event based on that.
Revolutionary
And,
Communist Youth Brigade.
someone was like, hey, we're going to have this thing. We'll be by at noon on Saturday. And back then, there's no cell phones, there's no anything, so you could totally ghost somebody a lot easier. And I planned on it. So I was like, yeah, come by, I'm going to be there. And but I forgot about it. And so they came by with a van full of 14-year-old girls.
Yeah.
And they were like, hey, you want to go to the beach? And I was like, oh yeah, I definitely want to go to the beach with y'all. And they were like, but first we're gonna stop off and support the Watsonville Cannery Workers strike. And then so that's kind of how I got hoodwinked into it, because I
Somebody hoodwinked
entered
me.
the van with flirtatious goals, and then I met these
That's what the
girls
free love
who
movement's all about.
They were talking about
Protest is all
things
about.
that were on the news, the world events, these sorts of and things that I purposely was trying to ignore because I didn't have a sense that I could have any effect on them, right? And they were talking about it, and I realized that
That's how you have an
they
effect on
felt
it.
that
Start
they
by
could
talking
have
about it.
something to do with that,
They had
with what
agency.
happened.
Yeah.
And it was connected to this cannery workers strike that we were going to.
Right.
That this was not only about someone trying to get higher wages, but it was about how you might be able to create a movement that has the power to affect those who are in power.
I can't wait for this movie.
To me,
I love
started
boosters.
the conversation about what power actually is under this system. So I went in that one trip from wanting to get with these girls to wanting to be them.
Yes, to wanting to be them and understanding, because you're opening up your world. But you grew up in a household with a father who also was teaching you through his actions, being an organizer and working in Detroit on behalf of the auto workers.
That's huge.
One thing that I
That's a huge move.
my parents didn't say, here, you have to learn this and blah, blah, blah. Because I probably would have done their stuff and not mine.
It's interesting about the casting of this film because you got some real big
Keke Palmer,
actors. You got Don
best
Cheadle,
superstar we have right now.
who's been around since she was 11. She's been
And she
famous.
was in the best movies of last year.
She
Good
stands out
Fortune
part
and One of Them
being
Days.
famous with, Sorry to
The
Bother
best
You,
movies of
but he stands
2025.
out in so many things.
She wasn't in
And
Sinners, but still
what's
she was in the
interesting
other
is
best
that
movies
I
of
interviewed Tessa
2025.
Thompson a little while ago, and she told me the story of how you almost took her out of the cast of Sorry to Bother You because she had gotten a Marvel movie, and you felt like she might be too exposed and too well known.
It wasn't just the Marvel movie, to be fair, but yeah.
But the fact that she is well known. So what has changed for you in this idea? Because in this film,
Yeah, Free Palestine. That's funny. I was just about to say that.
Maybe just more confidence in myself.
It's not just the canning strike, it's also Free Palestine.
With Tessa, like how we made that very specific thing. You know what I'm saying? And I was
nice to see you again.
And that I can write it in a way that we can shape it in a way where it does have its own specificity.
Mm-hmm.
And I think maybe I was more reacting to how a lot of movies do. Like, it's the George Clooney movie. It's George Clooney breaking into banks. It's George Clooney being a sniper. It's George Clooney. And I was like, I don't want that it's George Clooney doing this thing. I want it to be this character, right? And I think that what I've realized is that even though the star of it all, stars, how big someone is, can make people come to a movie for that, then it's my job to make them forget what they know about that person, right? What they know about that actor.
Good
and
perspective.
It's also the actor's job. So I'm picking people that can pull that off.
Why was Kiki the person that
She's
had
the
to be for
best.
that?
She's the best actor we have right now.
In other
You see one of them days? You see Good Fortune?
Like, okay, she does
She is
this
the
one
best.
thing, or these two things, this certain cadence, and they were like missing this whole other piece of her.
Of Kiki.
Yeah, and not in all things. She's shown herself that. Oh, I knew it, right?
This is recording.
It was like a breakthrough.
Brian Eno, isn't it?
The reason,
Brian Eno, isn't it?
the reason is because I want this out on a platform to talk to people who, they're not seeking out alternative things. They're not changing the way things are. You're living inside.
Even if you make a commune in the
capitalism.
woods, you're still living inside capitalism.
Our guest today is filmmaker, rapper, and organizer Boots Riley. His
It's
new
awesome.
film is
Wish we could
titled
hear the
I
whole
Love
interview.
Boosters. We'll continue our
I can't wait for
conversation
I Love
after a short
Boosters. They're
break.
showing it at my
I'm Tanya
theater.
Mosley, and this is Fresh Air Weekend.
Belmar 16.
The Neubauer Family Foundation supports WHYY's Fresh Air and its commitment to sharing ideas and encouraging meaningful
Thanks. I
conversation.
probably should shut it down.
Support for NPR comes from this
Because
station
I'm still
and
working.
from the Kaufman Foundation, providing access to opportunities that help people achieve financial
Well, what a great
stability,
interview.
upward mobility, and
Maybe I'll go
economic
live with a little bit
prosperity,
more of it in a minute.
regardless of race, gender, or geography. Kaufman.org. And from Lily Ahmed, a private foundation supporting NPR's